Here I come to wreck the day. Hey, check out this bad. Gender neutral. Think of that? I thought I'd do a bit of figure painting for a change. Only for a change. What it is, this job is so big that I keep hammering away at it, and I just thought, I'm missing my figure painting. And somebody gave me a nice big box to display one of my models in. So I was putting that model in the box. It's a model of a 2-biker Scouts, which I call, it was at this point, TB1971. Knew he'd messed up. So it just reminded me of my background, because I just loved making models. So I thought, right, yeah, let's get on to a bit of painting. So that's what this blog is going to be like. I'm going to show you some techniques that you more likely know, and some cheats that you may or may not know. Oh, and Uncle Owen got a big thumbs up, so he will be joining me to co-host this journey, you could call it. I haven't even got a name for this.
Can you speak Bocce?
Will you stop asking me that? You know I can't. That's why you keep asking me, just trying to make me feel a bit stupid, don't you? You shouldn't have sacked 3PO, honestly. So, onward and upward. Let's find out how we did this bad boy. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to let this idiot explain. Right, shouldn't take me long to glue this together. Now, a little tip, always keep a tidy work area. And then you'll be able to find stuff. Right, on there, and drops of fish. That didn't take long, as I suspected, so I'm going to whiz him out to the garage and get some primer on him. Might do a bit of pre-shading, just for good measure. Voila! Any good? Now, basically, I've just sprayed in black, and then I've sprayed white from above, and as you can see, it's brought out all the highlights. And just a simple little tip, and I just use this as a pre-shading technique. And as you can see, you can actually see now that it is a really good figure with loads of detail. And I would say the first tip that I would give anybody who's getting into figure painting, or if you've done it for a while, the first thing you need is a good figure. Because if you have a figure that's a little bit rubbish, you think, oh, never mind, once it's got some colour on it, might be all right. Sometimes you're on the back foot straight away. A good figure will do a lot of the work for you, you know. So once some highlights are on there, a few more highlights. What I've done is I've actually just painted, don't know if you can see them there, but I've actually painted a lot of white on, just to sort of enhance like raised bits. I mean, this might be a waste of time, it might not even show up, but I do like to spend 10 or 15 minutes doing this. Just simply, you're also familiarising yourself with the figure, so you might see something you think, oh, that's a bit rubbish, or oh, that's good, I'm definitely going to make that a feature. Oh, and here we have him. Look at that. A face only a mother could love. So what I've done is, I've sprayed dark from below and light from above. Now I wasn't too happy with the green because it was like some military colours that I used. But what I've done is I've used some of Tamiya's translucent colours to pull it back. I mixed some of the translucent yellow, sprayed that from above, and then I used some of the translucent green, which is quite greeny, and made it a little bit dark, and then sprayed it from below upwards, and it's given him a nice little bit of shading. And then I've sprayed flesh colour around the nose because his nose is quite lighter. So, and now my job is I'm actually going to paint some dark lines around here, because these are a lot darker colour, but I'm terrible for going rogue on my airbrush. I get a bit excited and I keep thinking, oh, I don't need masking off, I'll just keep going, I'll keep going. But sometimes when I've masked off, I've made mistakes as well. So what I do now is paint it all dark around here. So when I do go rogue with my airbrush, I'm not tempted to keep going closer and closer and closer and then sort of go, oh no, I've got to start again. So yeah, that's my job now. Just paint some dark lines all around the edges, and then we'll get some more airbrushing done on some of the base colours. And then I'm going to do his eyes now, and then once his eyes, I'm happy with them, then I'll gloss them and hopefully protect them. Okay, you lucky people. I've done, like I said, what I was going to do. I've painted some dark lines and all that. So when I do go rogue with my airbrush, I'm not tempted to go really, really close and mess it up as usual. Is it just me, or do you think it resembles Elvis now? I think it's just me. So one more word about my mother. Voila, the fruits of another night airbrushing, and basically, I don't know if you can see that, the shadows a bit. A lot of the shading is just basically spraying dark colours with the airbrush that way, and light colours that way. Oh, bloody phone. And shut up. And on the face, basically with using green, which is quite a nice colour, the most accepted colour to the eye, as they say. But I've been told a lot about this colour wheel. I don't know much about it myself. But basically, if you take the two primary colours of green, which is yellow and blue, that's what I use to lighten it. It doesn't mean you've got to use a yellow, but you could use a beige, you know, something just yellowy, and that's what I've done to make it lighter at the top. And then for darken it, because black's quite aggressive. In fact, black has been known as the absence of colour. Because let's say you wanted to lighten it and use white, that does bleach it. So that's why you use the yellow. And then to actually make the darker shades, I've actually used a very, very dark blue, because black's quite aggressive colour, isn't it? So yeah, just with some careful airbrushing from angles, angle to dangle, all dark colours from the bottom. And so now I'm going to get on with some painting, and I'm perhaps going to use some oils on this one. Now I do like to use turp-based stuff. I do love going over it with my oils, because it's good for blending and all that kind of stuff. And you know what I find fascinating is, I must have about 3 tables for modelling and painting, which I've already made a mess on, but I'm always attracted to the kitchen table. As soon as the coast is clear, it's like one of them zombies out of Walking Dead. I'll just go straight to the kitchen table, because that's where the magic happens, isn't it? Oh, I'm so sorry. It must be so boring for you at the moment. Just say the word, we'll go back to being stupid. Just look at that little cheeky monkey. What I've done now, I've spent another couple of hours with oils. I've just basically, I don't think the light's very good in here, but I've been just doing a little bit of shading, a little bit of down the nooks and crannies, and just highlighting some of the browns as well. I'll get some more better shots of him in the daytime. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to matte varnish him. Now, a little cheat that I've learned, when you matting him down, if say you've done a bit of painting, you're not that happy with it, and some of these acrylics, when you're smacking them on, you can see the brush strokes and they seem a bit cloudy and that. So now, what sometimes I do is, if I'm going to matte him down, I'll put a little Nat's Todger of the base colour in there. So when I just cover the eyes, cover that, so when you matte him down, it really does just hide odd little bits. When I painted one of the action men up there, I think it's that one, I thought, God, this face looks rubbish. You can see all the brush strokes. But when I did that, I just put a really Nat's Todger in the actual matte varnish, and a lot of the brush strokes just disappeared, and just spray it from above at an angle. It is a little bit of a cheat, so don't tell anyone, especially not Nana. No, not this close to her operation, because she will be devastated if she knows I'm a big fat cheat. Voila! Another thing ticked off, another thing for the mantelpiece. I am getting through now. That's the thing with having an airbrush, you can get through stuff just so much quicker. Tell you what, I'm putting out fires all over the place. Sorry, bit inconsiderate of me. Sorry, Uncle. If you haven't already got an airbrush, I advise you to get one. You can do stuff so much quicker, and there's so many decent models out there that you've just got to keep doing them, and getting them out. An airbrush just makes a lot better job and a million times quicker. So the first outlay is going to be your air supply, your compressor, which is about 70 odd buns, and then you can get a little portable spray hood. They're about 70 odd buns. So you can just find a corner in the garage, and also, I use one of those little portable ones up my loft, and just chuck everything out the window. So yeah, it's all good, clean, healthy fun. So this one has been airbrushed a lot, and it just accelerates things. As you can see, it doesn't take me that long to do. And then I just have a little play with the oils. Or acrylics are just as good. What I find when you're working with acrylics, if you're using a lot of water to make you translucent, they're sort of it can be quite cloudy. But what I find, if you find whatever make that you're using, sometimes they do a clear colour, or even just a varnish or a satin varnish. You can mix that with the colour, which makes you a nice little translucent layer. But wait for it dry before you put another layer on, because they can change while they're drying, and that makes painting just so much easier. It was nice to get a little bit of figure painting done, but now let's get back on it. I've done a little bit more outside, not too much to scream about, and I'm making a feature wall over there for the radio control cars. So, and Dee still hasn't got any beer whatsoever. It's not me you've got to apologise to, is it? Well, actually it is at the moment. So people aren't going to be coming round, aren't you? Anyway, so I've told you before, Ben's not coming round here. Well, that sweet old guy. Surely you can remember the first blog and my views on Ben. It does actually rile me, that does. Every time I watch it. In fact, I have to fast forward that bit, because you get him with a big thing on his eye and fanny mouth. They'd just finished work. They'd gone down to the only pub in Mos Eisley just to have a pint of blue juice, and lo and behold, loses his arm. Ben, who looks at us as this sweet old guy, chops his arm off and doesn't think anything about it. You know what I mean? What Luke didn't know was that Ben used to call himself Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he knew his dad. And his dad, Anakin Skywalker, he trained him, and Anakin crossed him and he chopped both his legs off and one of his arms and set fire to him. I mean, that's some proper under the stairs basement dark shit. The sweet old guy, and after he chopped Fanny Mouth's arm off, he just goes back and starts talking to Han Solo about getting out there. You might actually, I'm not going to put Fanny Mouth's arm on the floor. I've just changed my mind. I'm actually going to have him at the bar like he should be, drinking his blue juice, having a laugh with his mate. You know what I mean? Before Ben spoiled it.
That wizard's just a crazy old man.
See? Thank you, Uncle. That's in the horse's mouth. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't have you in charge of that. Imagine him in charge of the door on a spaceship. Hey! So yeah, maybe the next one it'll be a trip down memories lane, but at the moment there's still plenty of stuff to show you, and hopefully you will be learning by my mistakes. Like before, it gets no better, and as always, be nice to each other. Cheer up.